I hope that everyone had a great and happy 4th of July. I truly hope everyone enjoyed a nice barbecue day with the family and some cool looking fireworks. This was my very first 4th of July since becoming an American citizen, and I cannot lie, it was awesome, and this feels sweeter than ever before. I also just checked the subscriber count, and oh my god guys, this is awesome. I cannot thank you enough for all the recent support, as we have surpassed the 7,000 subscriber mark today. And again, I'm really grateful for all the support, and please keep passing the word around. Alright, let's focus on today's topic. In the previous episode, we introduced the First Amendment, what it entails, the individual rights behind it, why it is important, and we focus on free speech and how Republicans and Democrats are trying to change this amendment and how both parties should stay away from limiting freedom of speech. Today, we'll continue the discussion about the First Amendment. What is hate speech? Should it be allowed? Does it really exist? Social media involvement and other individual rights that are at stake. So welcome to the Naturalized Patriot Show. In this show you will hear the perspective of America through the eyes of a naturalized citizen. You will get to interact with us through a series of questions and give your opinion about these topics in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and hit that bell icon, and also donate if you want to see more content like this video. Without further ado, let's begin. We talked about many conflicts about free speech in the previous episode and how social media accounts are being banned for having opposite views, so let's talk more about social media platforms. Social media platforms are another frequent source of heated disputes between the two parties and people with dissenting views. This is because it is a source of contemporary free speech in a contemporary manner. It is well recognized that social media websites such as Twitter and Facebook can be used to spread misinformation. To safeguard the truth, Republicans and Democrats seek more control over these organizations. Both parties like to view reality in terms of an individual truth, meaning that what is true for one person may not be true for another, and therefore do not believe in filtering, or so they say. However, the presence of cancel culture on YouTube and petitions against Twitter clearly disagree with this point. The misconception behind both viewpoints is that the government can regulate social media, which is demonstrably false in every respect. Free speech and a free press are essential to a free society and must be safeguarded for its continued existence and development. The problem is that false information that is posted on these platforms can harm the lives of residents. And it is because of this that conflict emerges between the two major parties, because they claim that these media platforms are acting as misleading press. There is an argument that since social media platforms are at the forefront of contemporary society, they should assume more accountability due to the content posted on their platforms. Currently, they appear to be establishing a cancel culture, and an example of that is Jordan Peterson. Jordan being one of the biggest proponents of anti-cancel culture and one of the biggest proponents of counter-left ideology, who got banned by providing a dissenting gender identity comment about a Hollywood star. So do you guys think this should be happening? Let me know in the comment section below. Moreover, one of the things that come up on and offline is whether hate speech is free speech. This is where the debate gets complicated, as there are arguments around what is hate speech. There is also a conflict with the right to protection from harm, with Republicans arguing this is physical harm and only present in speech when libel and defamation happen. However, Democrats argue that both speech and physical violence should be punished the same way. As you can see, there are a wide array of conflicts between the two parties, and we didn't even cover the rest of individual rights provided by the First Amendment, such as peaceful assembly and the petition to government. So we'll cover those in another episode, but guys, let me tell you something. It seems like these issues are getting worse and worse, and they will never be resolved in the short term. So let's just hope that whatever happens, it happens in favor of America and its democracy. I would like to say that while the First Amendment is a constitutional change that protects free expression and a peaceful process, its application is a contentious issue between both parties. Gender education, the wearing of masks, and the freedom to post anything one wants on social media are all impacted. The views expressed here are, of course, based on most of the parties' policies. Individuals in both parties may hold opposing views on these topics and how the First Amendment affects them in a particular way. but how do we disprove these claims? Do let us know in the comment section below. Alright, in other news, let's talk about the current presidency, the race to November 2022, and the race to November 2024. According to New York Post, in a recent survey by Quinnipiac University, I'll leave the link in the description below, approval of President Biden's job performance slipped to just 33%, as even key Democratic voting blocs such as young people and racial minorities give the president a big thumbs down. The survey, conducted in June, found that 22% of Americans ages 18 through 34 approve of Biden's performance, the lowest rating of any age group. And listen guys, listen to this one because this is critical. I've never seen this happening. I researched and looked for this, but I believe this is historical. Just 24% of Hispanic voters and 49% of black voters said they approve of Biden's work. That's the lowest I remember or I've found in history. Although elected with the most votes in US history, Biden's support cratered about 7 months ago into office during the chaotic US pullout from Afghanistan and remained low as inflation and violent crime spiked. In the new poll, 64% of respondents said they disapprove of Biden's handling of the economy and 34% said inflation is the most pressing national issue. Annual inflation was above 8% in March and April, which critics blame on Biden's policies. Nearly as many respondents, 59%, said they disapprove of Biden's handling of gun violence, a term that covers both rising violent crime in major cities and recent mass shootings in Buffalo and Uvalde, Texas. The poll found 57% support stricter gun laws, with 92% support for requiring background checks on all gun buyers. The president's highest marks were for his handling of COVID-19 pandemic, with 47% approving and 46% disapproving. Of his handling of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, 42% approved and 50% disapproved. Amid mostly conservative criticism of the extent of U.S. aid to Kiev, Biden's support was highest among fellow senior citizens, with 43% approval among people 65 and older, as well as from Democrats at 79%, and from people with a 4-year college degree at 51%. The bleak results are only slightly worse than the real clear politics average of recent polls, which has Biden at 39.5% approval and 54.8% disapproval, spelling potential trouble for Democrats in the November midterm elections. Do you guys think that this means that minorities are starting to flip to the other side? Because for the longest time, minorities have been giving the vote to the Democratic Party, but right now, not only the survey data is showing that Hispanics and other minorities disapprove of President Biden, but it also shows the lowest approval rating in history and also a continuing decline of approval and votes for the Democratic Party. In other news, inflation has been a major topic in the last 2 years. I know, it sucks. People say that it's 8.5%, but let me tell you guys, life has gotten much more expensive than that. So according to Fox News, after President Joe Biden called on companies running gas stations to lower the price of gas, Jeff Bezos accused the US president of misleading the public or said he lacked a basic understanding of the forces that actually drive prices. Ouch! Inflation is far too important of a problem for the White House to keep making statements like this, Bezos said in a tweet Saturday evening. In the initial tweet, Biden made a direct appeal to gas stations and encouraged them to simply charge less for gasoline. My message to the companies running gas stations and setting prices at the pump is simple. This is a time of war and global peril. Bring down the price you are charging at the pump to reflect the cost you are paying for the product, Biden said Saturday morning. The president urged compliance without any hesitation, and do it now, he ordered. Bezos said the tweet was very telling to him and may reveal how little Biden knows about the market. It's either straight ahead misdirection or a deep misunderstanding of basic market dynamics, Bezos added in his response. Comedian Tim Young similarly called Biden's tweet complete BS. Gas stations do not control what they ultimately can charge, he added. People are not this stupid. Bezos has emerged as an unlikely critic of Biden administration as Biden continues to try and pin the blame for record high gas prices on anything ahead of the midterms elections. Over the past year, Biden has blamed former President Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans, Russia and its ongoing war with Ukraine, the coronavirus pandemic, oil production companies, and now even gas stations as gas prices are the highest ever recorded in the US. Previously, Bezos and the White House feuded over rising inflation, which the White House sought to blame on large companies like Bezos' Amazon. They understandably want to muddy the topic, Bezos tweeted in May. They know inflation hurts the neediest the most, but unions aren't causing inflation and neither are wealthy people. Remember, the administration tried their best to add another $3.5 trillion to federal spending. They failed, but if they had succeeded, inflation would be even higher than it is today, and inflation today is at a 4-year high, he added. On the other hand, according to CNN, and I will also leave the link below, President Joe Biden began Independence Day by sharing a message that looked to the country's future, but quickly had to respond to another mass shooting in the US. Jill and I are shocked by the senseless gun violence that has yet again brought grief to an American community on this Independence Day, the president said in a statement after at least 6 people were killed in a shooting in Highland Park, Illinois, during a July 4th parade. Biden noted that he had urged federal law enforcement to assist in the urgent search for the shooter, who remains at large at this time, and pointed to the gun safety legislation he recently signed into law. But there is much more work to do, and I'm not going to give up fighting the epidemic of gun violence, he added. Biden, who had spent the morning at Camp David, returned to the White House Monday afternoon. He's expected to deliver remarks commemorating the holiday at a celebration with the military families on the South Lawn. Earlier in the day, he had released a forward-looking statement about how the best days still lie ahead. The 4th of July is a sacred day in our country. It's a time to celebrate the goodness of our nation, the only nation on earth founded based on an idea that all people are created equal, Biden said in the tweet. Make no mistake, our best days still lie ahead. The July 4th holiday comes amid a challenging time for the nation marked by deepening division, inflation, and a recent set of polling showing that the vast majority of Americans across party lines are unhappy with the state of the US. In an AP NORC survey released last week, 85% of US adults say that things in the country are headed in the wrong direction, with just 14% believing things are going in the right direction. That's a more pessimistic reading than in May, when 78% said things were headed the wrong way and 21% that things were generally moving in the right direction. And currently, both 92% of Republicans and 78% of Democrats are dissatisfied with the direction of the country, the highest number among Democrats since Biden took office last year. Alright guys, that's a wrap. I hope you liked this video and let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys had a happy 4th of July and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!